Hi there, everyone. After looking at some of our math work, I figured, you know what, it's probably time to make a new video about multiplying decimals and working with decimals. So what I came up with was a problem that we'd have to work with quite often. This could be like $8.50 times 7.3 hours of work. It could be, I don't know, you could put any type of context with the numbers, but today I'm just going to keep them plain. It can be whatever you want them to be. It could be 8.5 yards times an area of 7.3 yards. That could be a backyard. You have to figure out the area of maybe the sod you need to cover the ground. It could be any number of things. But I'm going to show you the old-fashioned mom and pop method first, and grandma and grandpa, and I'm going to show you some other things after that. So if we're going to solve this using a method that maybe your older generations are more familiar with, 3 times 5, or we're just going to put the decimals aside for a moment, but 3 times 5 is 15, and will be really great if my marker works. And the 1's going to go up here. 3 times 8 is 24, and then add that 1, and you're going to get 25. Now what I've just done is I've taken essentially 0.3 and multiplied it by 0.5, 0.3 and multiplied it by an 8. I get 255, and I'm going to put the decimals in a little bit. Since I'm done with that, I have place value I need to put right there. And we're going to move on to 7 times 5, which is 35. And it's essentially 7 times 0.5. And then 7 times 8 plus 3, 56 plus 3, which is 59. Now it's time for us to add 5 and 0, 5 and 5, carry that 1, 9 and 2 plus 1, hard to see that 1, isn't it? 12, carry that 1, and 6. Now, we had a decimal point here and a decimal point here. Let's take those 2 spots and move that decimal point in, and you'll get 62 and 5/100ths. Taking a look at a different method, which some of you use, you'll take that 8.5 and the 7.3, and you will distribute your answer. You'll find different parts to the answer to it, break it apart. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 0.3. Well, we know that 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 0.3, or 3/10, is 2.4. 5/10 times 7, or 5 times 7, is 35. In this case, 0.5 times 7 is 3.5. It's like taking half a dollar, and if you have 7 of those, you have $3.50. 0.5 times 0.3, well, 5 times 3 is 15. We have 2 spots we need to go in with our decimal point, because we have a spot here and a spot there. If you add all that up, you need to line it up properly. 56 and 2.4 and 3.5 and 0.15. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. This isn't totally glamorous, folks, but it's going to get the job done. 2.4, 3.5, and 0.15, or 15/100ths. 5 and 0, or 5 and nothingness. 4, 5, and 1 is 10. 1 plus 7, or 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 3 is 12, and 1 and 5, and bring that decimal point straight down, and you're going to get 62 and 5/100ths, just like we had before. I'll switch markers here. The final method I'm going to talk about, we've been using partial products. Some kids are comfortable with this, others aren't. I would really recommend that you use this method if you've been using this method and you're not lining things up properly and it's not working. You need to find something that works. And 8 times 7 is 56. And 7 times 0.5 is 3.5. You could disregard the decimal points right now if you want, and then turn this into a 80 and a 70. You could do that. But I'll just go back to the original intent of the problem. 8 times 0.3 is 2.4. And 0.3 times 0.5 is 0.15. Not a lot of difference. Okay, you can take a look at that. There's not a lot of difference. And I want you to look at this. Do you see where we got the 255? We got that. Whoops. We got that down here. This is 2.55. And then take a look at where we got the 5950. And we got up here. Okay? While the methods are a little different, and there's some meaning that can be lost, there are some similarities in ways that you can be helped with either method. So, we'll finish this one up. My marker has escaped me. It's running away. That's okay. 56 and 2.4, we can say that that is 58.4. And 3.5 and 0.15 is 3.65. Now we can add these up. 5, 10, or 0 here, and 1 goes up. Decimal point there. 2, and 1 goes up. And 6. 62 and 5/100ths. 62 and 5/100ths. And 62 and 5/100ths on the other one. Once you figure this out, you have to know how to line them up. It's a combination of 3rd and 4th and 5th grade work with a little bit of 6th grade kick to it. So I hope that helps. There's also some other types of problems out there we can look at, and I may as well just show you one of the cool problems we've been working on. Let's say we have 4/100ths and we want to multiply it by 7.1, but I'm going to add a little kicker to this. I'm going to put an exponent up here, okay? So my 0.4 is not times 2. It is 2 0.4s multiplied together. 4 and 4 is 16. And since I have a space there and a decimal space there, I'm going to go in 2 spaces on my 16 and turn it into 16/100ths. So essentially what you're saying is 4/10 of 4/10. Well, half of 4/10 would be 2/10. 4/10 of 4/10 is 16/100ths. And then we're going to multiply the 16/100ths times 7.1, or 7 and 1/10. So we have 7, we have 0.1, and again I could use 3 different methods for this. 0.1 and 0.06. Notice how I did 0.06 on the bottom, because this is in the 100th place and I need to keep its place value accurate. This is 0.7. 1 times 1 is 1, but we have to go in 2 spots for the decimal point. So it's 0.01. 7 times 6 is 42. We have to go in 2 spots for the decimal point and make sure that that's 42/100ths. And 0.1 times 0.06, well, we have 6. We have to go in 3 spots for the decimal. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be a 0.006. Check that out. Now we have to add that. 0.7, 0.42. We're going to line that up. 0.7, 0.42. And I'm just going to do these first. And I'm going to get 1.12. Now I'm going to add my 0.01, and my 0.006. 6 is on its own, 2 and 1 is 3, 1 and nothing is 1, and 1. And our final answer is kind of ugly. Well, not according to this number, it's not ugly, but there's a lot of decimal points. We're going into the thousands. If you have any questions, I'm around. Feel free and check a lot of different sites. There's a lot of places where you can get help and information, but I hope that gave you a little taste and a little idea of how decimals work. Have a great day.